Let me be clear about something before we even start. I am not going to tell you that Roblox is dying. That word, dying, implies a process. Something slowing down, struggling, fighting to survive. What I'm describing is different. I think Roblox, as a creative platform, as a place where someone with an idea and enough determination could build something and put it in front of millions of people, is already over. The website will stay up. The logo will still be there. Millions of people will still log in tomorrow. But the thing that made Roblox worth caring about in the first place, that's already gone. And the way it happened is not what you think. There won't be a shutdown screen. There won't be a final announcement. The servers won't go dark. It's going to look completely normal from the outside, and that's what makes it so much harder to explain to people who aren't paying attention. I want to be upfront about who I am here because I think it matters. My first account was made in 2018. I've played on all clients. I know what the platform looked like before a lot of the changes that people now take for granted. But I am not going to stand here and tell you I've been playing since 2006 or that my nostalgia gives me some kind of moral authority over this conversation. It doesn't. What I have is a few years of watching this platform make decisions and a genuine feeling, stronger now than it has ever been, that the people running Roblox have no idea what they're actually killing. I was there for the great outage of October 2021, when the platform went down for nearly 3 days and nobody could get a straight answer out of Roblox about what was happening. I've been banned multiple times because their moderation system is a coin flip with worse odds. I've seen updates come and go that made the community furious, and then eventually people adjusted, the discourse moved on, and the platform kept going. So when I say this feels different, I need you to understand that I've said nothing like this before. I've never been more certain that what I'm watching is permanent. So let's actually talk about what's happening. The most important story that almost nobody outside of developer circles is talking about is the fee. Roblox now requires developers to pay a one-time, refundable fee of 1,000 Robu if they want to publish a game that players under 16 can access. 1,000 Robu, the platform where the overwhelming majority of the player base is under 16. The platform built on the promise that anyone, literally anyone with enough patience and creativity, could make something and share it with the world for free. Now I want to be careful here, because Roblox framed this as a safety measure, and on paper I understand the thinking. If you require some small investment to publish, you create a small barrier that might slow down bad actors from flooding the platform with harmful content overnight. I get it. The intention, at least in theory, is not the problem. The problem is what it actually does in practice. 1,000 Robu is roughly $10 depending on what pack you buy. That sounds like almost nothing if you're sitting in a wealthy country with a credit card and a disposable income. But Roblox has a genuinely global developer community. There are kids in countries where $10 is a significant amount of money, where converting local currency to Robu introduces fees and complications, where a parent might simply not have access to the payment methods Roblox accepts. These are the same kids who grew up being told that Roblox was the place where you could learn to build things, where the barrier to entry was effort and time rather than money. That promise just quietly died. And even if we're only talking about developers who could technically afford it, the message it sends is enormous. You used to be able to build something, publish it, see if anyone played it, learn from the experience, and iterate. The feedback loop was fast and free. Now there is a financial risk attached to every experiment, every passion project, every game that exists primarily as a learning exercise rather than a commercial product. Niche developers, the ones making weird little games for small communities, the ones trying something mechanically interesting that might never reach the top charts, are looking at that fee and asking themselves whether it's worth it. And a lot of them are saying no. This is not speculation. Developer communities across Discord servers, forums, and social media have been watching projects get cancelled, watching people announce they're moving to different platforms, watching years of work quietly shelved because the economics stopped making sense. The people most hurt by this are not the established studios with existing revenue from their game passes and premium features. The people most hurt are the ones just starting out. The ones who would have become the next generation of interesting creators on the platform. They are leaving before anyone gets to see what they would have made. What fills the space they leave behind? Look at the front page of Roblox right now and answer that question honestly. The games that make financial sense to publish under the new model are the ones that were already designed around monetization from the ground up. Games with aggressive paywalls at the start. Games with mechanics specifically engineered to frustrate free players into spending. The kind of content that developers in the community have taken to calling slop. Low effort, high margin, algorithmically optimized for engagement rather than enjoyment. And Roblox rewards this. The recommendation algorithm does not care whether a game is good. It cares whether a game keeps people on the platform and keeps them spending. So the games that survive and get promoted are exactly the games that treat their players, most of whom are children, as revenue sources to be maximized rather than people to be genuinely entertained. In May of 2026, this started attracting attention from outside the gaming community. Child advocacy groups filed a formal complaint with the FTC accusing Roblox of manipulative design choices that prioritize short-term engagement and monetization over the safety of the platform's young users. This is a real legal process involving real institutions, and if you haven't been following it, I'd encourage you to look into it. Because what those organizations are describing is not some abstract philosophical complaint about the direction of the platform. They are describing design decisions that target children specifically because children are more susceptible to the psychological mechanics being used. Roblox is not uniquely evil in this landscape. A lot of platforms do this. But most platforms are not primarily used by children who can't legally enter into the contracts they're implicitly agreeing to every time they make a purchase. There is something particularly rotten about applying these tactics to this demographic, and the fact that it took formal FTC complaints for it to become a mainstream conversation tells you something about how normalized it had become. Now let's talk about the age verification update, because I think this is the thing that most clearly shows how Roblox's decision-making has become completely disconnected from understanding their own platform. The predator problem on Roblox is real. It has always been real. There have been documented cases, there have been lawsuits, there have been investigations, and the platform absolutely needed to do something about it. I want to say that clearly because I don't want anyone to walk away from this thinking I'm dismissing the harm that happens to real children on this platform. I'm not. It's serious and it should have been addressed years before it was. But the way they addressed it has been a near total failure by almost every meaningful measure. The age verification system works, at least in theory, by using AI facial analysis or government-issued ID documents to assign players to age tiers. Players in similar age brackets can chat with each other. Players in different brackets have their communication restricted. The goal is to create separation between adults and children. Here is what actually happened. The AI system that analyzes faces for age estimation made large and frequent errors. People were placed in the wrong age brackets with no obvious path to fixing it. Adults found themselves restricted to child tier features. Teenagers got placed in adult brackets. The appeal process was opaque and slow, and many users simply couldn't get it resolved. For a platform where your social experience and the features you can access are tied to this classification, being in the wrong tier isn't a minor inconvenience. It changes how the platform works for you in fundamental ways. Social and role-playing games, which make up a significant portion of Roblox's most played content, took a massive hit. When your players can only talk to people in the same age tier and the age assignment is full of errors, servers start feeling empty. People stop communicating. The thing that made these games worth playing, the sense of being in a shared space with other people, erodes. Multiple well-established roleplay communities reported dramatic drops in activity, not because people stopped logging on, but because the interactions that gave those spaces their energy simply weren't happening anymore. And then there's the privacy angle, which I think was deeply underestimated by Roblox. Asking people, and specifically asking families of children, to submit face scans or government-issued ID documents to a gaming platform in exchange for basic features is a significant ask. The trust required for that kind of data sharing was not there, it had not been earned, and the fact that this data passes through third-party verification vendors rather than being handled entirely internally added another layer of uncertainty that many parents and players simply weren't willing to accept. Here is the part that I find almost unbearable from a design perspective. The entire system, with all of its collateral damage to legitimate users, does not actually stop determined bad actors. The mechanisms used to bypass age verification systems have been documented and discussed publicly. The people most likely to go through the effort of circumventing the system are exactly the people the system is supposed to stop. A predator willing to commit to targeting children on this platform will find a way around a face scan. A 12-year-old who just wanted to talk to their friend from school got caught in the restriction and lost that ability. The system managed to burden the innocent while the genuinely dangerous walk around it. It turned parts of the platform into something close to a hunting ground with slightly different signage. I also want to talk about the content moderation problem, because it runs underneath all of this. Roblox has a structural challenge that is genuinely difficult. Almost everything on the platform is user-generated. Policing that at scale is hard. I understand that. But the failures here are not small edge cases. There are games on the platform that recreate mass shooting scenarios based on real events. There are virtual spaces that have been used to expose children to explicit content. There are communities that use the platform's interconnected social features to organize in ways that would get them removed from almost any other major platform instantly. The moderation response has been inconsistent at best. Accounts get banned for minor infractions through automated systems, while genuinely harmful content sometimes persists for days or weeks before being addressed. I've been on the receiving end of automated bans for things that made no sense. I've also watched obviously harmful content get reported and stay up. The system is not calibrated for safety. It's calibrated to appear like it's taking safety seriously while spending the minimum resources necessary to maintain that appearance. So let me put all of this together, because I want you to see the whole picture. You have a platform that has made it financially harder for genuine independent developers to publish games, which means the creative ecosystem that gave Roblox its identity is slowly draining away. The games that remain and get promoted are optimized for monetization rather than quality, so the experience of actually playing Roblox is getting worse for people who are there to have fun rather than to spend money. A regulatory environment is now actively examining the platform for manipulative practices targeting children. The age verification system intended to address a real safety problem has damaged social functionality, alienated users through privacy concerns, and doesn't actually keep bad actors out. Content moderation continues to fail in ways that have real consequences, and developers, the people who have been creating the platform's value for free for years, are leaving. None of this is a shutdown. None of this will show up at a dramatic moment that people can point to and say, that's when it ended. That's what makes it hard to explain and easy to dismiss. The platform will keep existing. New accounts will keep being created. There will still be games in the top charts. The metrics that Roblox reports to investors will probably stay large for a while, because a platform with the kind of user base Roblox has built takes a long time to fully collapse even when the foundation is rotting. But the thing that made Roblox genuinely interesting and genuinely worth defending, the idea that a kid with a computer and a creative impulse could build something real and put it in front of the world, that's over. The conditions that made that possible have been dismantled, and they weren't dismantled all at once in a way that was easy to notice. They were dismantled gradually, justified each time with reasonable-sounding explanations, and the cumulative result is a platform that now works against the interests of the very people who built its culture. I'm not sad about this in the way I expect it to be. I'm mostly just frustrated that so much of the discourse around Roblox is still stuck in the frame of is it dying or not. That debate is being used as a distraction from the much more specific and actionable question of what exactly happened here and who benefited from it happening this way. The website will stay up. The logo will still be there. But Roblox, the actual Roblox, the one that meant something, is already gone.